to Movie Crap Live. How's it going, everyone, tonight on a Thursday, our sort of usual night there. Where am I? Can I see me? Movie Crap Live. How's it? Oh, cool. Okay, how is it going? Hello to Cornbread, Sidram, Austin, William Ellman, Jordan Salafalo, Zodberg, Sinram, Nathaniel Foga, Purple Goop, who's gonna share his pizza with everyone. I saw Classic Cameron in here earlier. Yeah, good crowd, as usual, good crowd. I see. Come on, YouTube, they were the greatest with me. All right, whatever. Javier Portello is here. All right, let me send out the skeet and the tweet. I'll still call it a skeet. We should have just kept calling. We should just let it be a skeet. Why not? But yes, welcome to Movie Crap Live. How's everyone going? Going, whatever. Yes, let me switch over. Sorry, the song's back. Did you notice the song? I'm just gonna play again in the background. Why not? Hello, we're in the kitchen. Got all this here. Doing our thing. Let me get the script up. Wow, this is, going smooth. At least right now. Alright. Yes. How's it going? I'm feeling actually better. My voice sounds more sicky today than last time. But whatever. It's been a crazy day. Yeah, it's been a week. I have things to talk about. But yes, I am feeling better. Putting out stuff, doing fun stuff with the kids, all that sort of thing. I don't know. I guess what did we watch on Friday? I don't even remember if we watched, I don't know, but we hung out and we had fun, and that's what matters. Okay, I want to talk about a few things before we start the show proper. One, I learned what leopard seals are, and they're very scary, and apparently we're in the Princess and the Penguin and the Pebble or something, that Don Bluth movie. But those things are scary. Cute, but very scary. Yeah, I just learned about them randomly, and they're in the Arctic, and they don't fuck around. They barely see humans, so they will kill you. Anyway, look them up. They look cute, but I just learned about it on an offhand thing. Sorry. That was a weird way to start the show, but nobody expected me to start with leopard seals, but that's where we're at. I saw Mission Impossible 8. I'm hopefully going to shoot a review this weekend, but man, I've never been to a movie with so many big trailers in it. It was just like every big trailer for every summer movie that came out after that had it was insane. I've never seen that. Okay, whoa, what's all this going on? Okay, all right. Black Sea Axel has the first super chat, and I will reveal the drink. But I want to give a heart to you. He said, first Paul Blart beats Tom Cruise. Now this. Did he beat Tom Cruise? I'm back then. Who knows? Here, I'll show you the energy drink here. It is I said the clue was summer, and maybe that was a little confusing, so I apologize. It was a C4 popsicle thing, and it was pretty, I don't know, we'll see. I just grabbed it on a whim because I forgot to get one in advance, and I thought, fuck it, I don't know if I've done this one, but cheers to you, Bloxy. And to no one guessed it, but wow, that really does taste like popsicle. But I told Austin, based on he sent a regular show video, and I'm gonna say he won based on that. I agree with you, and Taco Master deserves a shout out because last time we did the show, I was in my head, I'm gonna do the timestamps, and I got on the couch and I had the computer in front of me, and I promptly fell asleep. And it didn't happen because I was just kind of too tired, and Sunday was so much going on. But Taco Master did do timestamps in the comments. YouTube was being weird about me copying it. I never got to. I would have put in there, but Taco Master did timestamps for the last movie crap. So there's a round of applause from everybody. Taco Master. I was actually going to bring you up if you were here or not. However, re-ask: have you shown your kids Amphibia yet? I have not. I've actually been talking about the Last Airbender, but maybe I should watch Amphibia more. Maybe we should all try it out. Maybe I'll consider that soon. Thank you for the reminder, however, Taco Master. And thank you for doing the timestamps. That's cool. If anyone, I do not think I'm going to do these timestamps tonight. If I even, if I don't fall asleep during the stream. But I don't think I'll do it. So if anyone wants to, you can. I will give you a shout out and give you credit in the thing. Because some weeks I can, some weeks I can't. I apologize for that. But cheers to you, Taco Master. Thank you very much for all your help. Wow, that really just tastes like popsicles. Holy shit. Oh, I see. Oh, wait, is Carter Wright in there? Did I miss Carter Wright? Super Dusky is here. Carter Wright. I thought I saw somebody else who I didn't. Javier Portello. Jan Talks More Movies. Good crowd. All right. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I don't remember how many trailers there were, but it was like Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, whatever. It's Jurassic Park. Why call it that? We don't need to go through this again. Smurfs, Ballerina, which I zoned out during that. I'm like not seeing that movie. I'm sorry. I think there were more, but those are the ones that like really stuck out. I'm trying to think. Oh, Elio was in there. It was like everything big. It was like remarkable. Oh, Naked Gun. I think there was one more. I can remember 7, which is pretty good. I've seen people do that thing. Yeah, I don't like the Smurfs trailer either. I'm not a big Smurfs person. Although longest running Saturday morning cartoon of all time. So, I'll watch Ballerina but it's like there are other movies I want to see, I think, around that time, and I'm like, I'd much rather do something else. And it's hard to watch 2 movies for me because, I do a full, I work full time, so I do a whole 8 hours, then I see a movie. And then if I knew I was going to do this tonight, I know, if I do, this stream would not happen. I only have so much energy, you know what I mean? I think kids know who Rihanna is. To be clear. Oh man, I'll tell you a Rihanna story. This is just a random thing. My wife and I were watching Pop Culture Jeopardy. This one guy, it was a question who did something, and it was very obviously the answer is Rihanna, and the guy answered Robin Fenty, and everybody just stared at this guy what the fuck is wrong with you? Why did you answer it? And it's quiet for way too long. And then Colin Jost, the host of Pop Culture Jeopardy, was like, "You're right, because that is her real name." And I was like, "What the fuck?" I didn't know it was Fenty was named. Anyway, I've probably told you that before. That was one of my favorite TV moments because I was like, I've never seen a dude everyone thinks is wrong. That it was like, not only did you get it right, you. I was like, props to that guy. I thought that was pretty cool. I like Pop Culture Jeopardy whenever it comes back. Okay, so this is a thing I saw on TV. So I do, because I have the antenna, I'll flip around the TV, see what's up. Because I grew up channel surfing. It's sometimes fun to go back. Often it's not very good, to be honest with you. So I stop. But so on the New York channel, it's basically MeTV Tunes, and then this channel Laugh. And they've played some cool stuff, they played Spaceballs, and then Robin Hood Men in Tights. And I just turned it on, and they had this show called Man with a Plan, which I'd never heard of. And it's Matt LeBlanc and Kevin Nealon, and they have no chemistry at all. Not sure why they're together. If they did a chemistry test, it was not a good test. And if they did, which I don't think they did. And they're the plot of this one is they have to do a big presentation. And this guy's like, well, you're doing are you doing airplay? Are you doing an HDMI cable? And Matt LeBlanc goes an HDO what? And the whole audience thinks that's hilarious that he doesn't know these very basic things. And I was like, oh my god, this is Uh, this is this is the new like I can't set my VCR clock thing. Like that's the thing that the normies are confused about, and I was just sitting there like, but that's really easy. Like, how the fuck are you? Um, I was just I was lost. Anyway, it was very weird watching like how a sitcom is in the 2010s. That was very bland. It was so bland, but I was like, and no one I know knows what the show is, and it ran. Austin said 16 episodes. So, William Ellman. I watched the Svengoolie not last Saturday because we were doing this, but Saturday before. I like the Svengoolie. I watched him do Blair Witch and something before, which was weird watching a horror host do Blair Witch. I will say was like because that's like horror hosts usually do older movies, and I was like, oh, I guess Blair Witch is old. But yeah, oh cool, William. I'm glad you watched the Svengoolie as well. He was fun. I don't think I have anything else to talk about that I can. Oh, I got a new phone case. That's cool. It has a little plate, so I can. Anyway. It's too much. It's like otter box. It's very tough because I drop my phone a lot, and I thought, why not buy myself some insurance? All right. Wait. Why is this being so? Okay. Never mind. YouTube's always weird when I do streams. I know. Anyway. All right, let's just start. Okay, so this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through super chats during the show, and I will drink this popsicle energy drink that I probably should have given a better clue about, and then or through my Patreon, which is linked below. It has all sorts of cool stuff, like you get postcards, you get more power in the movie review vote, you get to see the vote totals and my movie review video, my commentary series, you get access to the only way to get access to my public access show, which is you get a link to the full list and everything like that, all sorts of cool exclusive videos and exclusive stuff, and yeah, and it's really cool, and all that stuff. It helps me do what I do, and I very much appreciate everyone who does give to that. It really helps out, as well as the super chats where I read you off, give me more energy. That's of course if you're financially able to do so. If not, just giving the video a like or subscribing absolutely helps. And if you want to get updates about like when I'm changing stream dates or what the throwbacks are or anything like that, you can get that if you subscribe. But if you just like sort of watching me and you don't even have a login, and you broke into the Towson library and you're in that weird corner they have off to the side near the magazines, which I know they probably didn't change, and you're hoping no one notices you, don't worry, Kyle, I will not sell you out, but lower the volume because the cops aren't going to get you. Anyway, thank you. Sorry, this is a dumb bit. I need to stop it. But anyway, thank you very much. Whatever support you can give me, I very much appreciate it. And just thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Austin, you've had a few drinks, just like sodas, or no? I'm joking. Anyway, cool. Sorry, Alex. I'm sorry, Alex. Austin was next to, whatever. I apologize. You've had a few drinks and I sound drunk. That's what's going on, Alex. Anyway, I hope you're having a good night. There was some. Oh, sorry, the throwbacks hadn't happened this week. Because hey, Medela Butterfly, how's it going? It kind of got messed up because on Tuesday I thought I was going to post a thing later, and my timing got messed up, and my reasoning behind it at the end of the day, I was like, anyway, so there will be a throwback tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow actually, that you might actually get 2 shorts tomorrow. On Sunday, they're going to be coming out regular then, but I messed up this week, but the one on Sunday will probably be Marcel the Shell, because that director went out and did the remake of Lilo and Stitch. And I think my Karate Kid video from back like the first, from 2010 possibly. So those are coming up. I might re-say them next week just because I sort of messed up my whole flow there. And it's my fault. It was a dumb idea and I shouldn't have done it. I should have just left it alone because I was like, I don't want to overwhelm people. And anyway, let me get my, hold on. I will talk about the Patreon Discord. I didn't forget. I just forgot to do this other thing. Okay. Also, if you want to hang out with what I would say is the greatest community on any live stream on YouTube or the internet, you should hang out with the Discord. You should join the Discord and hang out with the Discord. It's linked below. There's all sorts of cool stuff they're doing. They do weekly movie watches. I'm not sure what you guys are doing this week. The general where I ask like what you want me to talk about on movie crap this week, as well as there is Cornbread does his thumbnail predictions. I do. There's the licensed playing card channel where I posted a thing about these. They're doing Rush Hour. Good choice, guys. All sorts of really cool stuff. It's a great community. If you like everyone here on the side, on the chat, on the stream here, and you like me interacting with them and everything like that, then and you think they're cool people, then go and join. It's free. It's, we do a daily question in general. They have all sorts of other, movie discussions, game discussions. You can self-promo in artist self-promo and all sorts of cool stuff. And it's run very well by Austin, Cornbread, Zane Powers, and Ryan Walterson, and then they do a wonderful job. The other thing I've noticed, so for a long time when I do these streams, I would do that thing that everyone does where they do a stream and then they like unlist it and then republish it after. And I stopped doing that a bit ago because I realized it really doesn't do anything. I don't know why people think that. There's no difference in any performance or something. I just stopped doing it. But after you do the stream, it takes YouTube for some reason a while to get the chat up. So that has nothing to do with me. That's a YouTube thing. Not that anyone was accusing me, but I always forget to bring that up. So I wanted to mention that. I think the chat should stay. If it was up to me, I would keep it there. But Carter Wright, damn. I will say about the Rush Hour movies, they're looked back on fondly. I think the first one is fun, but I was friends with people who were Jackie Chan fans, and they were not feeling it at the time. So, hey, Dylan Butler, how's it going? I think I've said hi to everyone. If I haven't, tell me, and I will say hi to you. All right. So, first thing, we're going to talk about box office because we had a legitimately great box office this past weekend. It was the biggest Memorial Day weekend for movies ever of all time and had the biggest Memorial Day opening of all time with Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning. The chat does come back eventually. Sorry. To clear that up, the chat does come back. It just takes a while. But I'm not sure the timeline on that. I have so many things going on I never see, but later I see it's there. So I don't know. If someone knows the timeline, let me know. Hey, Kendrick Lamar likes the Rush Hour movies. That's how he's Kung Fu Kenny. So you should like the Rush Hour movies too. You don't want Kendrick will get mad, guys, and everyone's afraid of that. But I'm like, he doesn't really get mad at that many people. So it's like, you'd have to do something fucked up. Anyway. Yeah, it was the biggest Mission Impossible opening of all time. It was the biggest, it was just a massive weekend at the movies. We have done, this is a better Memorial Day than when Aladdin opened in 2019. Just a really, really wonderful. I know I keep hyping up the box office and stuff every week, but this was people are talking about the road to recovery. This is a very good indication of where the summer's going to go. I do think I think there's good stuff coming out, but I think it's going to slow down until Elio comes out because I just don't see I know I shot on Ballerina before, but I just don't see the Ballerina making huge box. I think we're gonna it's gonna temper down, but then from Elio till Superman, I think it's gonna be nuts. That's my prediction right now. But yeah, I saw that Super Bowl show a lot of times too, Taco Master. I'm with you on that. It was insanely good. All right, okay, yes, Carter Wright. Here, I'll say this. Of all those things that try to be Beverly Hills Cop, yes, Beverly Hills Cop is the best one, and Beverly Hills Cop, the first one, is way better than all the Rush Hours. But I think Rush Hour 1 is maybe better than Beverly Hills Cop 2. I think I can stand on that one, at least. And they're definitely better than Beverly Hills Cop 3. So, hold on. We got 2 super chats. right in a row there. Austin says, speaking of Aladdin, I rewatched the original and Return of the Jafar. I get why you were disappointed in the one kid who brought the DVD to school. Actually, I'm old. It was a VHS, man. But I appreciate that you thought I was young enough to that. Yeah, it's a noticeable drop. I mean, I've thought of rewatching it at some point. I don't remember who this girl was, so I feel bad because it wasn't cool. Because she was very nice to do that, and we were not cool to this girl who brought Return of Jafar. Like we shat on. Anyway, I feel bad for her. Cheers to you. Cheers to you, Austin. I would love to see someone make a real, like, I brought Return of Jafar and everyone hated me. And Taco Master says, make animated remakes of live action movies instead. I actually am very into this idea. I you know what you could do, Taco Master, and cheers to you, is this. Which I think would be cool. Use the original audio. If it's a live action movie, you're making an animation, just use the original audio. And only change certain characters that you want to do new scenes with, and everyone else uses the same lines. That would be cool. Alright, so I'm going to talk about Mission Impossible, and then I'm going to talk about Lilo and Stitch. Scarface as a cartoon would be great. So one thing, and this is actually a thing I'm super interested in, and I read it in a Deadline article, and I did skied it today, was that supposedly when people were talking about the budget, it was around $400 million, and it looks like it costs an exceedingly ton of money. They do think they'll actually make it back, or at least be I guess, yeah, break even or whatever. But they thought, they mentioned that the 1996 original cartoon makes about 10, or the original cartoon, the original Mission Impossible movie makes about $10 million annually, like every year. And to them, like, each of these movies makes a lot of money. And supposedly what they did with the original, I guess, 7, they put them all on tons of streaming services. Like, I know, like, Sinram watched, I think I mentioned this last week, he watched Deadly Reckoning on Prime. I watched it on Paramount Plus. It was also on all the Mission Impossible movies. There was a Mission Impossible movie channel on Pluto. They were also on, like, iTunes. Like, you could rent them in a lot of places. So they really put them out there, which, by the way, I think most franchises should do. Like, it's actually hard to watch Karate Kid right now, unless you have Hulu or something. And I think it's Hulu through a subscription. I didn't look into that. But what I'm saying is, like, they were very smart about, like, making sure these things make money and making airplane deals and all these other things. But I do think it's like, we don't talk about the financial future of some of these films, and supposedly Paramount did factor that in to this, because they're like, okay, well, what if we make break even, but we make $100 million off this movie every 10 years? That's not so bad. You know what I mean? So I think, like, that was interesting that they brought that up. Actually, I would like more box office things to get into that. Like, what's an old movie that's still making, like Wizard of Oz? How much does that make every year? Or like Sound of Music, or just the movie itself? But then the ancillary market and, like, merch and all that stuff. Anyway, it was interesting that was coming into play, because apparently Paramount is like, look, financially, we're fine with spending this much because it will make it back eventually. And because these are, like I was saying on Blue Sky, I do think these are the new Bond movies, in terms of, like, your dad, or I'm the dad now, dads my age will want to watch the Mission Impossible movies. And I think it also overtook, and I don't think this is crazy to say, Fast and Furious as well. So I think it's mainly just, it is the spy franchise, and they're very good at it. What is that? Anyway, where were we? But yeah, it's fairly crazy. Yeah. Oh no, Sinram. Sinram brings up. I wonder how much Shawshank is made from all these showings on basic cable since '95. That is a part of it. Because one of the reasons I also read that Mission Impossible keeps making money is they know like the old Bond reruns they do on TBS way back in the day. Many of you don't remember probably, but like the Bond movies used to do very well in syndication, in showings, because people would show up and the ratings would be good. And if people will stop what they're doing and watch like whatever your movie is, then your movie has more, like, people will spend more money on your movie because they're like, oh, I can put this on at 8 o'clock, I can do a marathon, I can do this, and Mission Impossible is that right now. So we'll see. Anyway, sorry, I just thought that was really interesting. I really would like a breakdown of like what I wouldn't mind if someone, what were the highest grossing movies on, like, through rights and stuff of the year. I would like to know that. But yeah. No, I know there are, yeah, but I think Fast and Furious, like, anyway, I'm not trying to be like, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because we talk about box office, but that's not the financial end game for a movie. And I think Paramount's being like, look, like, realistically, like, what if we make 400 million, we like pay back everything, but then we're making 10-20 million off this movie every year. Pretty good. All right, the other things is Lilo and Stitch, many people are saying could outgross Minecraft, which is currently the highest grossing movie of the year, is the fourth highest grossing movie of the year presently. It will outgross Captain America if it hasn't already, the Brave New World and all that. It was the third biggest weekend for Disney live action remake, which is depressing. It was the second, this is a weird one, I love this one. Second biggest opening for a holiday weekend. Oh, okay, second biggest opening for a movie on a holiday weekend after Black Panther. Okay, because that was like President's Day or MLK or one. It's a February holiday. I just named two of them. I don't think it was. You don't get off for Valentine's Day. But I think that's interesting. Oh. William Ullman said, do you know that there is a new Sean Baker written film coming out this year? I didn't, called Left-Handed Girl. I just found out about it and find it odd that no one seems to be talking about it. I didn't know about that, actually. How about this? I'll look it up. I can't look it up right now, but I'll look it up after the show because that's fucking, that's crazy. Why aren't they talking about that more? I don't know. I've noticed the indie stuff, but it's like because they don't get a lot of clicks and people refuse to, they just want to do the big stuff. But like that, okay, I will look that up. I will look into that. Thank you, William Elman. Cheers to you. And hello, Pi ZK and Remiku Haraku Shrine for being here. Also, Medela Butterfly, sorry that you said I guess you just thought I would be here last Thursday, and I'm sorry that you I don't know if that was a joke. I took it as maybe that wasn't a joke. What crazy shit happened with Pan Pizza? I actually don't know. Unless you're speaking of the stuff from the past or something. I hope he's okay. Okay. Any other box office things I can think of? First off, Thunderbolts is really just kind of not doing super well. There's questions if it'll be profitable in a lot of box office things. Snow White continues to hold on to things. I'm not sure if that is a drive-in thing, which they used to report, but no one seems to see it. There's a 40th anniversary of Ran Out. If you're near that, you should go see it. And 8.5. So I would recommend either of those if you're really into movies. And then also the Boondock Saints, which I will never stop having to hear about that fucking movie. All right. What was it? Oh, his new pilot is almost done? Oh, I already knew that. I assumed it was something worse than that, but whatever. I haven't really spoken to him in a while. All right, I think that's all. Oh, it had the really big Monday, Lilo and Stitch. Just basically, Lilo and Stitch is performing very well. It has no competition until Elio, which is Disney's other big family movie. I expect it to easily get to 300, 400. Before then, unless it underperforms because people are like, what the fuck is going on there? But yeah. Oh, Dan Murrell. His show is very long. I didn't watch. He is probably right. I think Dan Murrell knows what he's talking about. Oh my God, really? I didn't know that about Pan. I hope he's okay. That sucks. Sorry for him. I need to send him a message. I feel bad for him. I hope he's okay. I'm sorry for that happened to him. Yeah, but that sucks. Hope he's okay. But Dan, sorry, that caught me off guard. Apologies. I mean, I hope he wasn't there. All right. Whatever. Sorry, that sucks, man. All right. No, Dan Murrell is right. There's a lot, but the problem is like it used to be reported better, but I think because there are all these like different companies doing drive-ins and a bunch opened and then closed, it's like far more confusing. But if you do see these like March movies bumping up lower in the box office, that's basically why. Because Snow White is like, if you're taking the family to the movie, the drive-in, you're going to stay there and the kids fall asleep in the car and shit. And you want them to have, no, Ramiku Haruko-chan, don't feel bad. I'm glad you told me. I'm glad that I know. Sorry, I'm just being real. That's okay. I didn't, you're good. You're good. We'll all just say sorry for him and I hope him the best in the future. And that's all we can do. I'll try to message him tomorrow. Hope he's okay. That sucks. Anyway. But yeah, the drive-in combo can bring movies back because people will sit through a double feature. That's like their whole night. Most people do that. Now, I don't know all the ticketing of the newer drive-ins. I'm assuming they will not do stuff like that. But we'll see. Chan talks more movies, works in the movie theater? Oh, man. That's interesting. All right. So now we're going to talk about Disney Plus and Cocomelon. Now, you might not think... First of all, I'm surprised that 2 preschool shows made it into the thumbnail of this show in a row. I was like looking at this and I went, oh, wow, how did that that fucking happen? But this is a big deal. But I think it is also showing the problem I have with modern... Hold on, let me get this. Hello?
Hello, Jim. It's me, your old pal, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah, TC for short, but you can call me Tom or TC or whatever you prefer.
Okay, how are you doing, Tom Cruise?
Tom's doing great. I mean, everybody's seen Mission Impossible 9, Dead Retconning. Is that... Yep, that movie.
What?
Everyone knows me. I'm in all the Mission Impossibles.
Oh, can I ask... Okay.
That movie Cuisine. You remember Cuisine?
What?
That movie, I think it's called Cocktail.
Oh, okay. You forgot the name of the movie. Well, most people forgot Cocktail. Yeah.
That's fair. Anyway, I'm just watching your movie crap show. I watch it every week.
Really? Wow. Is Chris from Macquarie there too?
Yep, Christian's here. Hi, Christian. He's waving hi. He's editing right now.
Oh, what's he editing?
He's doing some stuff for the DVD/VHS of the Mission Pot. We do the behind the scenes stuff still.
So you release all your movies on VHS still?
Yes, you gotta imagine it's probably really hard or really expensive, but you can still do it.
Okay, I respect that, Tom. So what was the craziest stunt you did on Mission Impossible? What was the scariest one?
I mean, when the first one I had to have scenes with John Boyd, that was pretty scary. I mean, look at him now, he's trying to ruin the country. So, you ever notice that all my stunts are with planes? Like the fifth one, I'm like hanging out of the plane, and then
the new one, you're in a plane.
Helicopter, which is technically just a plane, but with the rotor upside down. And then
Wait, what? What was a
Top Gun, which is a jet, which is kind of similar to a plane.
Yeah.
It's all planes.
You do like planes.
Yeah, it's a thing. I'm just noticing this now. It's a lot of planes. Like in the fourth one, I was like on a building, and it was a whole different thing. But then I just got really into planes.
Yeah, I think you've been into planes for a while.
Yeah. Anyway, I need to talk about this Stitch guy. So I think I know why it beat us in the box office.
Why?
because he's got a little bit of Xenu in him. That's the secret. That's the
Ooh.
secret.
Well,
Jumbo put in a little bit of our Scientology lord or alien guy Xenu into Stitch. That's something Chris Sanders doesn't really like to bring up, but like a little 5% of Stitch is related to Xenu.
Well, I know as much as I love you to talk about your crazy religion, Tom. But I do have a question. So when this isn't the first time Stitch beat you at the box office.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I forgot to bring this up, but now that you're on the phone, I will bring it up. Actually, when Minority Report came out, and it shows you how Hollywood's changed because when Minority Report came out, sorry if I'm talking too much, Tom.
Let's keep going.
But shows you how much Hollywood changed because your first matchup was Stitch was the original animated movie versus your first team up with Steven Spielberg, and it was like two original movies. And now all these years later, you're in the 8th Mission Impossible, and it's a remake of Lilo and Stitch going up one against each other.
This is the 9th Mission Impossible. Is it the 8th?
I think it's the 8th.
Is it the 8th?
Yeah.
Oh, right, no, because I fought Henry Cavill in the 6th one, and then the 7th one
I think you're probably...
What's that? I don't know.
I think you're probably...
I mean, we basically, it was supposed to be Nicholas Hoult, but then,
I think, yeah, that is unfortunate. Nicholas Hoult...
Lex Luthor, Superman. Like,
Nicholas...
Who even is Superman? I don't know.
But
he's not Tom Cruise, that's what I'll say.
No, I think you got confused because...
Yeah, I guess it is. So Stitch beat me again?
Stitch has beaten you twice, and why didn't you... Ving Rhames should have warned you, man.
Oh, man. Ving didn't warn me? Well, I was talking to Ving, he was cooking breakfast, Tyrese was there, so it was a crazy thing, He was naked, though.
You know Tyrese?
Well, yeah, because, he's his dad. Or, he likes to act like his dad. It's not really his dad, but,
Wait, Tom Cruise. Hold on. I know
Tyrese is really into it.
I know you're famous, but I gotta say, Tyrese, that's like a real famous person. He hosted MTV Jams.
There are more Fast and Furious movies, too. Though I will say, I think I'm in the same amount as Vin Diesel is because technically he's not in the 3rd one.
Yes, or the 2nd one.
Also, the one was just The Rock and Jason Statham. So
he's not in the 2nd one,
at this point.
or the 3rd one, or Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, they never tried to replace him with Jeremy Renner.
Well, they did, but nobody remembers that. That happened in the Fast and Furious. Everyone forgets. If you guys remember.
Yeah. I mean, they tried to do that with Jason Bourne. It didn't work out. And they tried to do that with me. It's just, it's the whole thing.
Well, anyway, Tom, I'll let you go. Thank you.
Wait. I forgot. I got breaking news for you. That's why I really called you in the first place.
What is the breaking news? Did something happen?
So, I remember many years ago on your show, you talked about a movie I did, a space movie. That's going to be my next movie.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's good. Then it'll be Top Gun 3.
The space movie first?
It's going to be me and the space movie. And I can talk about some of the stars I got. And I think your chat's really going to like that. So, firstly, my co-star, my partner is going to be AI James Dean from that Vietnam movie. It's the same Vietnam James Dean from that movie.
Yeah,
but, we just, took him and just put him in our movie. It's not set in Vietnam,
Yeah, no. People on this show have a fascination with
Kevin
that
Kevin
James.
James will be playing the president of Dunkin' Donuts.
This sounds very much like
the holding company of Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not actually sure who owns Dunkin' Donuts at this point, but it will just be Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
And then lastly, we got the man, Scarface himself, Al Pacino. He's also in the movie.
Okay.
And also this guy, Salty Donkey Kong Dan, I think his name is.
No, you don't want to put him in your movie. I
don't want to put him in the movie?
Dude, I know you're an Alf fan, and he hates Alf. You don't want to put him. He's an Alf hater. He's an Alf hater.
Man, I was going to put Alf in the movie. We're tight, man.
This is getting to be the Gremlins 2 Key and Peele sketch. Anyway, Tom, I very much appreciate you calling. Unfortunately, Mr. Tom Cruise, this is the most embarrassing thing I'll ever say in my life. I have to stop talking to you so I can talk about Cocomelon.
Oh, man, Cocomelon. Oh, man, I remember Cocomelon. But yeah, you go talk about your Cocomelons, and I'm gonna go get. After my movies, I like renting out a McDonald's and just filling a bathtub with Sprite and just laying in it for like 2 days. That's the secret. That's how I
Okay.
do all my crazy stunts. I just lay in a bath of McDonald's Sprite.
I actually did hear you ice yourself every night. But anyway, we should go. But also bring back Limp Bizkit into all
Oh
the.
yeah, no, that was the other thing. I meant to say that. Fred Durst. He's gonna do the song. I think he might be having some legal troubles or something, but it's probably nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. I'm glad you did it all for the Nookie, and I'll see you. I'll see you around. I guess we'll hang out later this week. All right.
Yeah, we'll hang out. Yeah, all right. Say bye, Christian. Christian saying goodbye.
Thank you, Christian McCoy.
Yeah, he's got to go make Tron 4 or whatever.
Oh,
right,
cool. Good for him.
We'll let you go.
Thank you.
All right, goodbye.
Bye. All right, that was Mr. Tom Cruise. Okay. No Metallica, 0 star. That's true, and you can actually find the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack on Spotify. Oh, Austin, man, you really missed it this time. It was crazy. Tom Cruise stopped by. Anyway, sorry. Cocomelon. What was I going to say? So, that was fun. Recently we found out, basically, the big news was that Disney Plus has acquired Cocomelon. I, as a parent, will say, this is fucking slop. This show. I don't actually let my kids watch it. I know daycares do, and I'm just like, why not Sesame Street? That's like actually better. Much more educational, but people will just put it on for their kids. And I kind of have some issues with this, but I want to give, I'll do Willie Melman here. Give a super chat, says, I think you kind of gave Tom a softball interview there. I wish you had held his feet to the flames a bit more on the issues. Sorry about that. I really should have just gone after him. I should have been like, where's the Eyes Wide Shut footage? One of my few replies that did well was I said, people were like joking that someone wrote an article. Cheers to you, Willie Melman. If there's a after credit scene in the new Mission Possible, and I was like, yes, there is, and it's all the cool stuff cut out of Eyes Wide Shut. Ramiku Hariku Shrine says, big news today, Clown Cried was found after 50 years. I think it's like sort of found. It seemed a little here, I'll look that up right after this, and we'll talk about that. The Clown Cried. Okay. Super Dude News. I did see some parts of that. I'll how about this? We'll look at that thing there, but that is crazy if it did really happen. But cheers to you, Ramiku Hariku Shrine. And Zane Powers, how does Cocomelon compare to Teletubbies? Well, you can't get high to Cocomelon. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. All right, oh, okay. Sorry. So my main issue with this Cocomelon, we'll get through this Cocomelon part, is, and I actually read a separate, I had this feeling before, but this is very much Disney under the Iger thing. We can't launch a boys franchise. We buy Marvel. We buy Star Wars. We can't launch, we're not making big animated movies anymore. We buy Pixar. That is what they do. They buy shit, and they make themselves even bigger, and it's made like that brand a complete fucking mess. But I get, from any company's perspective, any streamer's perspective, the amount of views Cocomelon gets is a very smart decision under that. But my thing with this also is like their preschool stuff. I read an article where I skimmed an article, but the headline was that Bluey has been watched 70 billion minutes since 2024, which to me is insane. But it also shows me that they don't need fucking Cocomelon. And Disney is doing what they typically do and buy up everything and fuck the industry up and just have everything on their thing. Which I get, if you're a company, you're supposed to do that because capitalism and shit. But it just like sucks. But I also think it sort of devalues Disney because it is really badly animated. Like, it is the worst crap in the fucking world. Like, it's like the songs are all pretty generic. It's really, really like. It's just like there's no real value in it at all. I really don't like that my kids watch it all. Although my son loves just saying Cocomelon and laughing, which I guess is Gen Alpha humor. I don't understand that one, but anyway, Red Boy Mickey says chug chug chug. I guess that's what I'll do. Cheers to you, sir. Or person. Man, I don't know. Sorry, I shouldn't do that. All right. But my thing also with this is I know they're preschool. Like I've seen their Mickey Mouse preschool thing, and it's garbage also. And I guess for the preschool stuff, they don't honestly care about the quality. But I do think like the popularity of Cocomelon will bring down the public's perception of the quality of that company. And so, I honestly think like it's a bad decision because you want people to think, oh, I watch, because it's how people look at Pixar. Like, honestly, I know so many parents who don't go to any movie at all, but the new Pixar comes out and they'll see it. You know what I mean? Which I think is why they stay up on the, they always like, Elemental worked out for them and stuff, and Elio will too. But I do think, that was a Thomas the Tank Engine. You know what? I should get that because my kids watch Thomas the Tank Engine. But I found it to be I understand why they made it, but I do think it's a dumb idea because I think it'll hurt the brand more. Maybe it'll help because they're a feeling that like, oh, well, preschools will, instead of going to Netflix. But I think most people just go on YouTube, and it doesn't sound like it's leaving YouTube based on this deal. It's just moving from Netflix to YouTube to Disney Plus. So I don't know. Disney Plus has not done what Netflix does, and they'll buy up like. That's a good point, Ryan. It's a good. It's we watched that one with the English dub, by the way. But Disney is not in the business that Netflix has of other streamers have, where they will buy up like a Blimpie or something like that and have their stuff on there. To my understanding, unless if anyone can correct me on that, or Miss Rachel or whatever. So I don't think. I'm curious like what this represents for the future and sort of Disney acquiring things. I think this could have bigger ramifications than just the preschool stuff. I could see them doing this with other stuff, and maybe they're, I don't think they're going to buy Has Been Hotel or something like that because that's on Prime, but you know what I mean? Like this does open up that like, oh, well, we learned from doing Cocomelon, and then they could buy up, the Gaslight District or something like that. I don't think they will that specifically, but I am saying like this is a larger this like sometimes I bring up stuff because I'm like, I think I will have to talk about this later, so I'm sort of setting you guys up so you know where I'm coming from. And part of this is I think this hurts the brand. I think it sucks because Disney has a lot of good stuff on there that they don't prioritize, and this will just continue Disney Plus's decline, frankly, in quality. But I also think like, what is this opening for the future? And it's just like not. It's going to be interesting. Like I do see them hiring other TikTok, YouTube type people who are super successful. What's that Russian thing, like the little girl and the bear or whatever? It's not BJ and the bear. It's like Misky and Fuzzy or something. I don't know. I don't watch that crap, but whatever. I just think it's like the fact that they already have Spidey and His Amazing Friends. They have an Iron Man one coming out, which is not related to the Iron Man in that show. And then, and then all that, I don't know. The only one that I thought was like a generally interesting one was that Rocketeer preschool show. I thought that was an actual good attempt at doing it, but didn't work out. So, Masha and the Bear. Okay. Let me look at this Jerry Lewis thing real quick. I did see it kind of, but Swedish actor has been sitting on a copy of the The Day the Crown Cried after stealing it in 1980. Conjuro thought to be lost, but claimed. Oh, he claimed it. He stole it from a production studio. He reportedly copied it onto VHS and kept it along with the original manuscripts in a bank vault, according to the National. Has screened a copy for journalists and Swedish icon money to prove his claim is true. And he says you're the 23rd and 24th people to have seen it. Okay, that's interesting. I am curious that a lot of people are saying we're going to see this soon. I think that is going to happen. But I do think it's going to be interesting. But I also am like, my only trepidation before reviewing it is I don't know Jerry Lewis's stuff that well. And I don't know if a lot of people presently do. Like, honestly, like, I'm not trying to shit on him, but, like, has any, like, I don't know a lot of people do. I just know French people like Jerry Lewis. Actually, I was at a screening once, and, like, I couldn't nail down the nationality of the programmer, and then this thing came out, it's, like, the cinema of Jerry Lewis, and I go, oh, she's French. And everyone told me to shut up. And I was right, though. But like anytime I see someone do a thing of Jerry Lewis, I'm like, are they French? It's, sorry, because that's like the biggest cliche. But like every time they're like, well, why you say that? Anyway, that's interesting. I hope it comes out. But if I would like to see a few Jerry Lewis's before I actually review that. So maybe I should get on my ass and watch some Jerry Lewis's so I have some good context before I watch The Day the Clown Cried, because I'd like to know that. That's the but I think we all, if before we do it, I would say your humor is on the level as the movie North. Ryan, that's harsh. I've never seen it. I just know people don't like it. All right. Um, William Elman, Americans love French fries and the French love Jerry Lewis. Is that from The Critic or something? Anyway, that was the end. Cheers to you, William Elman. Or is that an Elman original? All right. We might get a little serious here because I want to talk about a guy who he's a comic book author. Peter David passed away this past week. We've known for a long time he's had. Oh, it's a South Park reference. Thank you. Okay. Peter David passed away this past week. I first heard about him from his run on X Factor, which was I really liked his run. It was when Havoc was. It was past when X Factor originally was just the original 5 X-Men, and then it became Havoc, Polaris, Multiple Man, Strongman, and Wolfsbane, I think, and Quicksilver. And he and it was a really good run. He actually did a cool thing where they all went into therapy after Executioner Song, which was interesting. That's the issue I kept posting everywhere. But he's also always been this like constant nerd comic author my entire childhood. Like I was used to seeing his name everywhere. I know he could be very idiosyncratic, and he did very much have strict morals about, like, he quit X Factor because he had to add too much stuff for crossovers. He quit Hulk because he got too many notes. He really believed in shit. But he also wrote a ton of Star Trek books. If you knew, Star Trek The New Frontier is basically a spin-off of books just for him. He co-created Spider-Man 2099. He wrote Hulk for 10 years, fairly significantly. He wrote tons of novelizations. He helped write James Doohan's autobiography, or Scotty. He was like this constant like I almost always saw his name on stuff and I go, oh, Peter David, and I always thought like that meant, to me, I haven't read him forever, but as a kid his name sort of meant quality, because I knew he was a quality writer. I knew like every guy in the comic book store was like, oh, Peter David wrote that. His name represented quality to me, because he would always like take a book and do a really interesting issue with it, and the comics company would ruin it for some fucking reason. I also learned some trivia facts about him. He wrote a lot of books. He wrote a lot of comics. He wrote tons of stuff. But I didn't know he was born at Fort Meade, Maryland, which I've sort of been close to. I didn't know that. His dad was a military guy. He was also a balloon handler for the Spider-Man balloon in the 2011 Thanksgiving parade. I don't know why he did that, but whatever. Supposedly, basically, what really happened to him, and what happens to all of us, is his debt caught up to him, unfortunately, which is just life in America. After his first divorce in the 90s, he got behind on his tax payments, and that hurt him, and then he kept having financial difficulties. after that, unfortunately. It's sad to see all these comic creators not get the respect they deserve. I don't think there was he got a payment from Across the Spider-Verse. I don't think, if they make a lot of his stuff, like, I don't think they do another Hulk movie and do his issues, he's going to get a payment or anything. But let's not talk about how shitty the studios are. Let me just say, he was a great comics writer. He did more with a lot of those properties than anyone would. He was an insanely creative, smart person. He never wanted these comics to just be boring superhero shit. He always wanted to do things more on the characters, and he didn't like appealing to like what the publishers wanted. He was an interesting writer. He was a really smart guy, and the reason we still give a shit about 2099 is just his Spider-Man, not just because it's Spider-Man, because he created a good character. His X Factor run was like I actually think that's like the thing I know him best. I know I'm over talking about it, but that's what I know him from. And at the time, like everything to be on, like I grew up in these comic book stores in the 90s, but it was about the artist. It was about like Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, all of them. That was what it was. And you could tell because Chris Claremont got fucking fired from X-Men because they wanted Jim Lee more than him because writers didn't matter. But Peter David, was a name during that time. Like, that's how good his shit was. Like, X Factor, even though he had an artist and he was very nice to that artist, my understanding, he broke through that because he was that fucking good. I don't know if I have as much to say about all this stuff. I hope Comic Tropes, which is, I think, one of the better comic tropes, or Owen Likes Comics or whatever, I hope that one of those guys does a Peter David video because he really deserves it. He was a great author. He was really creative. Don't look at these stories of people who die with financial difficulties and think, I don't ever want to create stuff because that sounds harsh. Fuck that. Still make stuff. Who the fuck cares? Because guess what? We're talking about all these cool things he created. I'm talking about how he did all this neat stuff. People are going to read those comics for hundreds of years after he's gone. He has more power than those people that he owed that money to. Remember that. Do not look at him and feel bad and think this country sucks. Fuck that. We already know that. Think about how awesome Peter David is and what he did and what he accomplished as an artist. Because that is his real legacy. Not that this world is horrible. We already know that. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. Because remember the times you had with him, not the times you missed with him. Alright. Sorry. I know, to me, this was a kind of a big death. Sorry. I was just very shocked. Even the picture I have of him in the thumbnail is how I remembered him. So I wanted to put... I wasn't offended by the other people's pictures or anything. I was just like, this is how I remember Peter David, and it's my show, so he goes how I remember him. So, but I feel bad for his family. I hope, because I'm sure a lot of that debt and all his problems are not going away. If anyone is part of his Patreon, please stay there and help them out. I understand financial difficulties and stuff, but anyway. R.I.P. to him. A real legend and a really interesting writer, and I hope we have more great writers in the future. Also, to bring us back, we have actually crossed $20, and I didn't honor this last time, and I forgot. So let's. Okay. In my defense, that was a weird week last week, so. But yes, I remember we do this. Sorry. This will bring us back up. Thank you. I'm glad you like that. All right. I'll let this go for like 5 minutes. So the Harry Potter cast. I want to say this. Almost everyone, you either have two camps. Is, why are you doing this to these kids, you transphobic asshole? Or, I'm mad that Hermione's black again. It seems like those people are and the news sites that emphasize that seem to not talk about the transphobic thing. It's almost like they picked a different controversy to talk about other than J.K. Rowling being transphobic as shit. I don't know. Anyway, the Hermione being black thing is like that already happened in the stage play. So it's like I was like I wonder if people is there no fade mode? What do you mean? No, it's just kind of like, oh, there is a fade mode. What's that do? Okay, there we go. Good call, Zodberg. Thank you. But I'm curious. You see, my thing about this show, is it doing it right? Okay. My thing about this show is I actually get on an artistic level. This is not, I'm not saying I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. So don't be weird. Doing the Harry Potter books more fully. Because I read the first 3. And it represented kind of a different thing because, I have a learning disability, all the smaller learning disability kids who, a lot of them did live in the shitty room under the stairs kind of situation. Really loved it and I wanted to check it out. I actually got into it more earlier than older kids. When I saw the first one, it was super lame. I did it. So I guess we've all come back around. But I think because there is more detail there, and like the third movie, very well directed. I like it, but it is not an adaptation of that fucking book at all. Like it's a bad adaptation of that book, which is one of the better books, and then they didn't do it. I could get like doing it adapting a different way makes sense. I've also often thought the thing with Harry Potter is they started making the movies before she wrote the ending. So like I've often thought like wouldn't you write it differently if you knew the ending when you did the beginning, basically. But I think like why isn't it just animated? Like wouldn't that be easier? I don't know. To me if it was animated I'd consider watching it, but I just don't I don't get it, and I just think it's like a bad idea to do that thing now, and I feel bad for the kids. I did like the article it pointed out who was Ron, Hermione, and Harry, but like when you look at the picture, it's like yeah. It's kind of obvious who's who. And he didn't wear the glasses. I was like, what's he look like in the glasses? Come on. But I don't know. I'm like not really that excited for this show. I don't want an HBO type show of this. I honestly I think it should just be animated. I think that's a better idea. You could do more interesting stuff. It's like a completely different thing. There's more reason to watch it. But at the same point, it's like, I think the problem with Harry Potter is we need to stop doing this stuff. With like redoing Harry Potter so much. Harry Potter needs to fucking stop, man. And like please just give it a rest. Like that's my biggest issue with the franchise. Even with the Fantastic Beasts, I thought that was too soon, and it's like they never let it go, and it is really killing that thing. Their transphobia was hurting it, but it's like it is very much trapped to the millennial thing because brands are not like YouTubers. Like YouTube, if you're on YouTube or TikTok, you need to post every day to keep views and stuff. But if you're Warner Brothers, you should be relying on other franchises. Doing this is I don't know if Harry Potter will be around in the next 20 year of kids, because I think people will be like, oh geez, I want a break. So I don't know. I'm very curious if this could work, but I had no real issues with the casting. I just am I feel bad for the kids, and I wish the only way I'd really watch it is if they fire J.K. Rowling. If they pay her out and be like, get the fuck out. That I would watch it for that. What about, you know what, actually, I'm curious. If they, Warner Brothers, tomorrow, David Zaslav grows a backbone, and then he's like, J.K. Rowling is fired, but we're gonna figure out Harry Potter without her. Would you watch the show if she was fired? Would you re-engage with Harry Potter if she was fired? I'm curious about that. I'm just curious what people would say. Actually, when I will get you sooner, I'm interested, but I remember back in the Ain't It Cool News days, Harry Knowles wrote a thing that Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli should actually be the ones to make the Harry Potter movies. And I know people don't like Harry Knowles, but I think I agree. All right. Sidram says, my take on having live action adaptations takes less time and people like seeing the actors' faces. True. True. Wow. A lot of no. No. Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, the brand has overdone it. Like, if it had been our break, I think people would consider it. Like, if it was no Fantastic Beasts. All right. Cheers to you, Sidram. Zen Powers. What are those for? Where are those 4 Fantastic Beasts sequels? Were there only 3? No, her bigotry is when we cheers to Zen Powers. When we just daughters watch them only on DVD. I refuse to watch it on a streaming service. I noticed like all the labeling, and some of that is English culture because of the prefix and stuff that's like in their schooling, but a lot of it is like yeah, Dana Terrence's Harry Potter animated that'd be interesting. Cheers to you, Taco Master. I'm into that. But how many times things are labeled and classism is classism is very clear and like pointed out, and I was like, this is interesting. It's also like a lot of people brought up, I'm like, oh, this is why none of the wizards changed genders at the time. I'll say this about the Rebecca Sugar thing. I did watch Harry Potter with her 100%. Way back in the day. We didn't know then what we know now. All right. The Joel Schumacher cut was going to screen, but it didn't because Warner Brothers stopped it. They weren't actually going to make any money off this screening. It's a cut that's we've been talked about and all this stuff. But my thing with this screening, a lot of people said, oh, maybe they will actually release a cut. I don't think they will because most people said they did definitely get burned on the Snyder cut, and I don't think they're going to pay for the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. But I wouldn't mind if they just released it as just what it was, if they're not going to pay for the special effects. But I think it's bullshit they cut a screening that wasn't even going to make any money. It was just like apparently a YouTube channel that's obsessed with the Joel Schumacher cut, which is weird. But whatever. I think it's kind of sad it's not going to screen anymore and Warner Brothers is after it, which is this the new People's Joker? I don't know, but I think they should 100% let this go. I think it kind of sucks that they are not. What time is it? 11:30? All right, we have like a half hour. Where's the haircut? Thank you for someone. I just like the joke that it's in there. Okay, so this kept coming. I was not going to talk about this, but people get posting in the Discord, so I'm confused, but okay. There's going to be a Mamma Mia 3, which I think we know, and this was brought up in an interview with the person who sort of runs the Mamma Mia stuff. I didn't know Mamma Mia opened right after 9/11 in New York, and all that stuff. The musical, not the movie, which came out around The Dark Knight. But they're supposedly talking about doing a Mamma Mia 3 with Sabrina Carpenter. If you remember, this isn't, well, you know, I talked about how I bring up stuff just for context later, and I did bring up how studios are, I think we can put this back until are we crossed the 40 thing? I think we might be crossed. Okay, we are. Okay, this can keep going for a little bit because we also crossed the 40 thing. So after that, I'll stop it unless we get past the next divisible of 20. What was I going to say? But I do think it's interesting because apparently the studios have sort of, from what we're hearing, the Charlie XCX trying to make her a star thing. She did some screen tests that didn't really work out. They were bad. And so she's going to move on to like more cult stuff. I think she might just not have been right for like what they were doing and stuff like that. I also think like, you know, she's a pop star. You could have like tried to work with her a little bit, like not be fucking dicks. But it's also that like Sabrina Carpenter, you know, she was in Girl Meets World. She has done a lot of, she probably has the best acting background of any of the pop girlies of the time. But I do think like her, you know, there's still talk of her doing Tangled. I've noticed there's been no talk of live action remake news since Lilo and Stitch hit, which I think I feel like that's going to pick up pretty soon. They are talking about her being sort of a character who's related to Meryl, and apparently she is friends with Amanda Seyfried. That is literally all we know about this. I think you could do a Mamma Mia 3 because ABBA has come back a few times, is reunited and stuff. I think you could. I think she'd be a good choice for it because she's like kind of fun and kitschy and stuff. And you could make it work out. But I just, it is interesting to me that Sabrina Carpenter is still getting all the offers. It seems like everyone else they thought about. I think if Chapel Run should just do a John Waters movie. If that should be the next John Waters movie, is him and Chapel Run would be the best idea. I don't want her in mainstream movies. Like if there's a last John Waters movie, I think Chapel Run being it would be the best way to go out. But everybody else doesn't seem as worried. But I think Sabrina's perfect for that. So I could see it working. I kind of want her to be in a Muppet special. That's really what I want, honestly. But anyway, that is all I have on that. I really had to go through that article and like, there's not much here. There's not much here yet. But all right. So there was a Star Wars web's fan page that was operated by the CIA which was part of which was called StarWarsWeeb.net, which I went to every day. So anyway, apparently it was a Central Intelligence CIA homepage, and it was, most people could find it. It was unearthed by a security researcher, and it kind of revealed to everyone, and they used it for various CIA sources. The sites were first discovered by Iranian authorities and may be linked to the killing of various CIA sources in China over the period of 2010 to 2012. What I think is funny is they have this little kid with a lightsaber on all of it, like, which no one's sure where this picture came from. So I love that the CIA, I think it's probably someone's kid or something, like made this like kid with a lightsaber picture. But I think it's kind of funny that this happened. There's not much else to say. The other thing I'll talk, let's say silly thing. Let's do the silly corner. There was a Megan popcorn bucket. It's basically her head. It opens up. It actually looks like a cool, like they're saying, like you use it for keepsakes, stuff like that. It looks fun. I have a Dogman popcorn bucket and a Mystery Science Theater popcorn bucket. I don't have money where I can just buy popcorn buckets all the time. Although I wish I did. That'd be fun, but I just don't. And then the other one was, apparently someone was watching Final Destination and the ceiling collapsed in on them of the theater while they're watching it. I would definitely read into that shit and calm down, and I would never be able to chill out after this. I would really like, no, I'm being Final Destination. So that would fuck me up. All right, let me put this in. Does that look like? No, maybe this one. No. I'm going to stay with that one. All right, so back to the show. Sorry. The popcorn bucket that I saw was an Alamo Drafthouse. And I'll give Alamo Drafthouse credit for this. They actually, the designer of the popcorn bucket was mentioned in all the news articles and in the press release. So good for them, because I've never heard a popcorn bucket designer, but if someone designed it, they deserve credit. All right, so this is weird superhero rumor section. Ghost Rider apparently is being eyed for Doomsday or Secret Wars. Supposedly, it is a new casting, not Nick Cage, and I'm guessing not the person from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So they're probably going to launch Ghost Rider in this mega movie as well, is the rumor right now. The other rumor is apparently there's going to be 3 Spider-Man villains in Spider-Man 4. Supposedly this is just a part about the multiverse and stuff like that. It's a quick thing, not necessarily a main thing, but like Scorpion is one of them. We'll see how that really happens, but it was revealed at a toy show, which usually reveals stuff. The other one, and I think this should be brought up, is there are a lot of rumors about Matt Reeves and his health. I'm not sure what's going on. It keeps getting delayed. I honestly still believe a lot of movie press people like just talking shit about Matt Reeves because they do it too much. But the rumor is that one person they're very much considering for Batman Part 2 is Sam Raimi. I don't think there's been an offer made. he has been considered for Batman since '89's Batman. To be honest, I think you should get Sam Raimi. I would be into that. I don't know. I need to watch Doctor Strange 2 again. I thought it was fine. It's not my favorite. And he's never making Evil Dead 2 again. But I wouldn't mind, like, I think he deserves a Batman. I think that would be fine. I would be into that. I don't know. But supposedly if Matt Reeves does bail out or is too sick or whatever's going on there, he's someone they'll consider. We'll see if that happens or how busy Sam Raimi is whenever those events transpire. And then the other one is I mentioned how Michael can't be released until 2026. Apparently, it can't be released till after April 2026 because they wanted to go on the financial the when the next quarter and stuff like that, which would make it eligible to start the summer 2026 instead of Devil Wears Prada 2, which I think would probably what's going to happen, but we'll see. To clarify on the Matt Reeves thing, because I don't want to just push rumors. I see Wanda Natty, also hello man. It's a rumor he's not. It has not been fully announced, and supposedly under that rumor, the studio is considering other people just in case. If a lot of rumors about him are untrue, I just want to acknowledge it because Sam Raimi was mentioned. I know you all like Sam Raimi, as do I, and I thought that was cool news. Austin with the super chat says, "Fun fact: Gabriel Luna, who was ghostwriter in that show, was at the How Did You Get Made show in Toronto. I think I saw him. Okay, cool. That's interesting. Cool story, bro. Okay. So Christopher McQuarrie, I didn't get to bring this up, but I didn't get to listen to this full thing of Chris McQuarrie on that podcast. I've seen clips, and it's been really interesting, actually. But supposedly, he did have a pitch for Man of Steel 2. He doesn't really say what it is, just says it's really good, which I'm sure he's a good screenwriter, so probably was. And then him and Tom Cruise are talking about doing a Les Grossman movie. They've been talking about doing a Les Grossman movie for almost 20 years now, 17 years, I think. I don't think they should do a Les Grossman movie. I do think like he needs to figure out what he's going to do with his career now that Mission Impossible is over. But it's, I'm not super into Alaska. I like him in Tropic Thunder. I don't really want that as a whole movie. They've tried to I think they brought him back from MTV Movie Awards and stuff a couple of years after that, but that was as much as went on. I think he should maybe do a legal thriller, do something interesting, but we'll see. And before we get it, I guess it's controversy corner or whatever. We learned that Rob Liefeld is supposedly sold Evangeline to Warner Brothers, which I'm confused by that, because why would you? I don't know. I am always surprised that we don't hear more about Image stuff, because Image was so big in the 90s, you think just nostalgia-wise, but supposedly Evangeline was sold to, it's a 7-figure big film deal for Evangeline from Rob Liefeld, which he owns because I believe it's an Image thing. And he sold it to Olivia Wilde will direct. The writer of Poor Things, Terry McCann, will write the screenplay, and it's going to be Margot Robbie's Lucky Shot Productions, which usually when they're attached, everyone assumes she's going to be involved. It doesn't necessarily mean that. But yeah, Olivia Wilde directing and Margot Robbie is eyed to star. We'll see if that actually works out. It's not one of the more notable ones or one I know, but it did break earlier today. All right, so these are two. We're going to talk about two kind of controversies, and one you probably don't even know about, maybe. And this is the bigger one. So David O. Russell, everyone's favorite person. Apparently, I think he's shooting a Madden movie, or he's shooting a movie. And supposedly during what happened is during a improv session. Like, this wasn't in the script. He was in an earpiece of another actor. And he basically asked the actor to say the N-word. The actor got really pissed off because although he didn't brace him for that and say, during this thing, I'm going to want you to say this or something, which I want to talk about that in a second, but is what he did, and all the actors ran off, basically left set, and there was a lot of disagreements because he did that. And all those things like that. And basically the shooting stopped for the day, and it was like a major disruption for shooting. And because, of course, David Russell would do something dumb like that. If you're ever on a set or you're ever making something and you're going to use any word that would upset someone, like, I'm not talking about like, I'm triggered by something dumb that people joke about, but like actual things, like there's going to be a sex scene, you're going to say the N word because you're portraying something in the past or something. In all honesty, just like I've been on sets like that in college and I've worked on projects like that and stuff, you just clear it up like before and say, this is what we're going to do. There's certain authenticity. I signed up for this and stuff. And I totally get what people are saying. You should take his side for doing that. But he didn't handle that well whatsoever. And if it's in the script already and you're presented with the script and you obviously had to memorize your lines and stuff, and then you had to say it, I'd have a different feeling on that because obviously like you signed on, you understand that, and you probably talked about it. But if you're just going to say an earpiece during like an improv thing, like fuck you. Like I don't understand that kind of behavior at all. I think it is pretty inappropriate. And it's like, but if you're ever on a set to do safety and you think like whatever it is, or someone says this makes you uncomfortable, you can talk it out with them or figure it out or understand maybe they're not right for it because this is difficult, or maybe you have to figure out a different way to do it because no one will do what you want them to do basically in your film, and you have to figure out how to do that. But David O. Russell, of course, like my issue with a lot of these guys also is a lot of these guys, when like if you're working at a smaller level, you have to like negotiate and figure all these things out and like make sure everyone's okay, and like because you really can't lose like an actor or something like that, if you're a small production. So you wouldn't want to just like steamroll over them. But because he's David O. Russell, he thinks it'll all work out, and that's sort of like what he gets away with. So I know this wasn't as big of a controversy. I'm curious, maybe some of you guys didn't hear about it. I just wanted to bring up that yes, he is still being an asshole. Like he's not changed. Yeah, it's like if you're an actor and you're in a thing, it took place in the past, that's part of the script and stuff. Like yes, you should be aware of that, and they should have talked, and they should have ended up with all those things. But just saying in an earpiece, like that's not okay. Unless if he had said, the only thing would be if like I'm going to, I want you to go there. I might say it during that. I'll like give you that like a little bit of an olive branch. But I think like you're doing an improv. To me, it's like I don't like white people who find excuses to say that word. You should not have an excuse to say that word. Unless you're talking about Winnie the Pooh's friend or Jay-Z's nickname so you can play it on the radio. Those are the and you mishear someone. I can understand that if someone mishears you, sure, but do not no reason to say the word ever. Just like because he was Jigga because he couldn't put the real one on the radio, so they had to change it to that. So that's how he got that name. If you didn't know, anyway, your Jay-Z trivia fact. The other people acting inappropriately, or Ninja, you can say that. When will Tim Allen finally? Was that an episode of his other show? Probably. So there was that was a good one, Dave guys. There were rape allegations against Kevin Costner because of his apparently a rape scene in the Horizon Part 2. Now, a lot of these media reports are interestingly acting like Horizon 2 came out. It didn't. It's only played once publicly in Venice, and it's never been released. So we don't actually know what scene they're talking about here, which makes this an odd thing, because I read an NBC thing, which was released last year, and I'm like, did you guys you didn't search this, did you? Supposedly, basically what happens is he says that there was a difficult kind of rape scene. She was not adequately prepared and told about it in advance. And I think there's a certain great period you're supposed to tell someone stuff. He didn't. So according to her, he did not do that, and she felt really violated and not treated well by her employer, basically. But at the same time, almost everyone on set disagrees and says that didn't happen. But the other thing that makes this weird is we don't know what scene that is, because this film has never been released. So I don't know when Horizon 2 will come out. which is the other thing. But there seems to be a lot of people on the set are disagreeing. However, I know Kevin Costner is very powerful. Or Kevin Costner, yes, Kevin Costner, I always think of it, is very powerful, so I'm not sure. But it is interesting if you hear people write about, or even seen videos, act like Horizon 2 came out and they have some awareness of what the scene is. No one does because it has not been released. So that sort of also makes this a little weird because it's just sort of like no one knows, and a lot of the on-set people disagreed. So to me, it's like, it seems like a very he said, she said at this point, but the part that makes it odd is that Horizon 2 never came out. So that this might hurt it coming out, but I have heard no news on if it would come out. But anyway, I don't actually like Kevin Costner as an actor. I think he's good in, like, when people, he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, where if you get the right director, he can be really good. And I think that, like, Cameron was always great at getting a good Arnold performance, and I feel the same thing with Kevin Costner. Like, JFK's better. I don't I can't actually think of something I like him in, to be honest. I guess Field of Dreams. He's good in Field of Dreams, but that, like, yeah, again, it works for his persona. So, all right, let's talk about. Okay, sorry, I had a brain fart there because I was like, what is that? I want to talk about a few things, not that many things, and then we'll take a break. The rumored date for King of the Hill is August 11th for the reboot coming out. Mr. Johnny Tuccello's talked about that in a video recently. I've seen it post a lot of places. It's sort of an educated guess. It has not been announced. I don't think they're off on their reasoning. We'll see if that happens, but that's rumor. Is right now they're saying the King of the Hill date will be August 11th. I would think you wouldn't want to release it in August. I would think you'd release it in September, because I've noticed when things get released in August, they kind of get forgotten really quickly, but we'll see. So I want to talk about 3 trailers. The trailer for Elio, which was fine. It's looked as, I saw that one actually in the theaters, and it looked just as good as the others. I didn't notice too many different things, and it looks exciting. I'm excited to see Elio. There's the trailer for The Home, which is with Pete Davidson and the director of The Purge. That might seem random, but the director of The Purge is from Staten Island as well as Pete Davidson. The director of The Purge has various issues with Staten Island, because if you didn't know, there are 5 boroughs in New York. All 4 of them voted blue or Democrat, and Staten Island is always red and super Republican, and it's a very weird situation. And a lot of, like, I think the first Purge took place in Staten Island, and he very much likes talking about Staten Island. So I think him and Pete Davidson, I was like doing a movie that's basically about Pete Davidson. He's the caretaker at a old folks home, and all this crazy, creepy stuff happens. But I was like, him and Pete Davidson working together could be really interesting. And it's a different. I give Pete Davidson credit because his film career is becoming, like, I liked him in Dogman, and I like that director. I like the Purge movies. Sort of like what they're trying to do, at least. I think the second Purge is probably the best one, if you ask me. I've not seen the Forever Purge. I was like, I should have gotten around to that one. And then the next one is a Kelly Reichardt movie, the trailer for The Mastermind. I am a fan of hers. I need to catch up on a bunch of stuff, and I actually own the cow one on Apple Plus for some reason. I think it was like $2, and I bought it. Anyway, First Cow, sorry. I love Meek's Cutoff and Wendy and Lucy, and I need to really catch up. But she has a new one, and it has Josh O'Connor basically stealing something from a museum. Like, the whole it's just one sequence. It looks really cool. I would really like her to have, like, a bigger hit. I've always really liked her a lot. So, okay, moving on. Okay, these are 2 things, and then we're going to. Yes. Okay. Only 2 things. One, this is my own personal thing. Is we keep hearing about The Rock doing these smaller A24 movies, and I want to do. This is my own kind of interesting idea here, and I thought about it today, and I thought I'd mention it. Is it better for The Rock to do smaller movies than bigger ones? Because if the perception of The Rock is that he's an interesting actor, can he sell more tequila and energy drinks and all those other businesses? Like financially, I was thinking, does it make more sense for him to just do A24 stuff, have the perception of The Rock better than it is for him to be Black Adam? You know, like if you can't be Robert Downey Jr. in post Iron Man, why don't you be Robert Downey Jr. pre Iron Man and just have like all this acclaim and use that to like sell your tequila and sell your energy drinks and keep your like stock in the film world up and like get nice notices written about you and stuff like that? And would that be better for you as like this celebrity person that The Rock is than it is to do huge movies? And I was thinking like maybe that is his actual play. Like I don't actually think he gives a shit about artistic intent and stuff. I really don't believe that. I think he's very talented and very good movie star and all this stuff. But like I think this might be a better idea for him for that. Also, yeah, actually, Cornbread bring up like he has the Moana live action remake, so he's fine on that regard. But it might be like, you know, maybe he can just, you know, have his few franchises, but if everyone thinks like, oh, The Rock's really talented, and I didn't think you could do that, is that better for you in the long run? And if he does that, will we see other people, you know, basically the idea of like a huge movie star like the Ryan Reynolds and The Rock and like whoever have these brands, could we see it in a different way where it's like, oh, well, it's harder if you're in a superhero thing to, you know, for people to want to buy your shit. But what if you're in smaller stuff and people like you more and then you sell your stuff? That could have major ramifications if true. But I was thinking about that. Anyway, my last thing, and this is an interesting story. I think there's been a lot of talk of Alan Richardson, who is the guy who is Jack Reacher in the Amazon show, and like when is he going to be in movies? Like generally, I hear it almost every movie podcast. I see it on Blue Sky. Like when is this guy? Like why isn't he in Street Fighter? Why isn't he in this? I've never watched this show, but whatever. But Alan Richardson is, and I think this is a good idea for him. Hello, Caden Wolfox. Is he is signed on to an adventure movie. It is called Raiders of the Lost Ark meets Memento, which is there's usually like this is this meets this, and I'm like roll my eyes, but that is an odd idea there. I'm kind of curious. We don't know. This is another one like Mamma Mia 3, and we don't know shit. Nobody knows shit, but we know that, and I thought that was interesting. Jerry Bruckheimer is producing, and it's written by the writers of the Minecraft movie. I actually think this is a smart idea because you want to start with your own franchise. You don't want to do anything else. And I know there's a lot of love for him presently, and I think that's a smart move if it all works out. If it's like garbage, then he fucked it up. But if not that he's writing it or producing it, but I could see I can see that working out for him. So I don't know. I know there's been a lot of love. I don't think so much on with you guys watching the show, but I've heard about him, and it's one of the few times I go, oh, you're like sort of doing it better than the Sydney Sweeney bathtub water soap. I was like, what is, you know what? I don't understand the people buying someone's bathtub water, but I would watch a video about the logistics of getting someone's bathtub water and like how you do that and but how would you, what are the logistics behind getting the bathtub water out of the bathtub and into like that? I would watch. I don't want to watch it for gross reasons. I just like, how do you, I mean, it's gross that they're doing the bathtub water, but like, what are the logistics behind that? Like, is there someone who's like, oh, you better get Kevin and he's the bathtub water guy? I joke, but that's probably true. All right. Anyway, I'm going to take a break. Then we will talk about the first episode of Karate Kid. I'm not fetish shaming. I just think it's, you know, I wouldn't do it myself. But I'm digging a hole. Oh, sorry. Okay, look, I'm not, if you're into drinking people's bathtub water, that's cool. You can be into that. That's fine. If you want the Sydney Sweeney bathtub water soap, go for it. I don't know how many baths did she take? See, that's a real question we should be asking. Like how much bathtub water percentage would be in a soap like that? Anyway, sorry. I would ethically harvest it. Thank you for that. I have no problem with that. If you do that, anyway. I just have logistical questions on how you get it out and like store it and like, or they're like, oh no, we can't. This can't go out to the public. this bathtub water, but this one's good. Like, what is the difference? And like, bodies are gross. I don't know if you'd really want, like, isn't there like other fluids that would come out? Anyway, I'm not good. Good luck to y'all. If you want to do that, that's fine. I was surprised we're mainstreaming bathtub water. Good for you, sweetie. I was like, I didn't expect that today. All right, I'm going to take a break real quick. Then we will talk about. Sorry, I won't fetish shame. You're right. I'm just sort of joking around about it. It's fine if people are into that, and that's fine. I do have a logistical question, but anyway, I'm going to use the bathroom. Then we'll talk about the first episode of the Karate Kid animated series, and I will be right back. I'm sorry, did you literally say someone said unionized bathtub water production? That's a good joke. Thank you. All right, I'll be right back. Hello, how's it going, everybody? Sorry, I went on a Sydney Sweeney bath water. I didn't really explain it. I just saw it earlier. I didn't mean to fetish shame it. Cinnamon didn't leave because of that, I hope. Anyway, whichever. I just think it's funny she's doing it for soap and that element of it. Anyway, let me move the... I was like doing gestures of the camera and I'm not on the camera right now. Now I'm here. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do this Karate Kid thing. I think we're probably gonna go past 12:30 a bit, but then we'll be over. I don't think there'll be timestamps. I'm just gonna tell you that now. I might try because I need to do a few things, but I would drink. But anyway, I just think it's interesting. Like, do they tell you the percentage of bath water? That is something. And did she have to take several baths? Those are my real questions. I would like to know. Anyway, I think she's just doing as much as she can to make herself I mean, you could, if it's in a store, I will look up the percentage. I that's all I want to know. If it says like 0.5%. Anyway, all right. So, hold on. Let me just bring up a thing for this for my Karate Kid cartoon. Oh, and sorry it took me a minute to write the thing. Oh, hey, what's up? Thanks for your time on the Pizza Party podcast. Hope all is well. Thank you, Kevin R. Wow. Cheers to you, sir. Thank you very much. Because that was a very generous super chat. I will do the... Is the fade easier to see? Is that why? Can someone explain to me if you think the fade or the... I could do... There's one called Meteor. Let me see if that'll work. Meteor work? Does that look cool? Hold on. Thank you very much. Kevin R. They're really pretty. Can you see? Hold on. Can you see the... Is it working? Oh, it's going all over the place. Does that even register? Not really. Okay, we'll go back to the fade. Sorry. Okay, I'll do the fade. I miss the podcast. We all need to figure it. I'm sort of slowly working on, we're busy kind of people, so it's sort of hard. So I think one day that'll happen. I hope so. Anyway. All right. So, The Karate Kid. This came out in 1989 on NBC's Saturday morning lineup. This was a show I actually watched as a little kid. It was before I went to elementary school, to my remembrance. And I watched this show. But here's the thing about this show, and y'all don't know on the stream how my take on this is going to be interesting. So, in 1989, ninjas were everywhere. Probably the biggest ninjas had been in my lifetime that I could remember at that point. I don't know if it was actually the biggest, but Ninja Turtles were big. I was watching Karate Kid. Lots of things were happening, right? Lots of ninja stuff. Now, I thought ninja stuff was cool. I liked the Karate Kid cartoon. I liked Ninja Turtles. Maybe other things. Point is, I was very into this stuff. So my mom, being a cool mom, as I was at this time 5 or 6, not sure. Regardless, I very much wanted to take karate class. Okay? So then, this is pre Three Ninjas. Three Ninjas is later. That's like years later. So then, my mom signed me up to karate class. But she made the big mistake of signing me up for karate class on a Saturday morning at the same time as the Karate Kid. So you're probably like, oh, you threw a temper tantrum, something like that. No, I was a shy, nervous kid. And what I did is I hid in the corner and just put my hand in my mouth and waited for it to be over. And I think after 2 or 3 things, I told my mom I wanted to just go home and watch the Karate Kid cartoon. I would call her to verify, but most of the time when I call her to verify, she's like, why should I have to remember this dumb shit, Jim? Your brother and sister ask me real questions. Whatever. So my question, this is my eternal question with this show. This is sort of a joke, but also not. Was I right? Was the Karate Kid show, and this is how I'm going to review it, good enough for me to fuck up my karate classes and never go back. Now, this is the karate class. If you're in Maryland, I think it's on Joppa Road, lower than, the Hollywood video is up here. It's down here, and between where movie time video is. So obviously you all remember locations based on video stores, but you have where Hollywood video used to be. It was like below it. Anyway, if anyone knows, write it down in the comments. But anyway, I'm reviewing this. I don't think I've ever talked about this online, but I'm reviewing this based on, was it good enough to mess up my karate classes that my mom signed me up for in 1989? This is how we're reviewing this. Let's do this. All right. So, as I recall, they also played the Back to the Future cartoon at the same time, and I had to miss both for this. Like, I could switch off one at a rerun. For karate, I don't think so. So, this is how we're reviewing this. When this is a separate video, it'll just say that, but I wanted to surprise you guys. Because this is 100%, when I think of this show, I think of how I did not ever really attempt karate class. Hold on. I need some water, and I'll get to using powers. Hold on. St. Powers says, Ninja is way bigger, right? I was thinking about Ninja the other day. I was like, if you're a YouTuber, your real death is when you get into the grocery store. Because like Ninja was in the grocery store a lot. I never hear about that guy anymore. Cheers to you, St. Powers. Mr. Beast is in the Mr. Beast is now in the grocery with the Feastables, and nobody likes him anymore. So the Back to the Future 2 years after. Oh, I was wrong. Thank you, Ryan, for correct. I should have actually asked you that. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that's my theory. I know JoJo Siwa had ice cream in grocery stores, and her decline story. So I will never have anything in grocery stores. That'll ruin everything. Anyway, okay. So I watched the first episode of the Karate Kid cartoon, and this interesting fact about this: it was supposed to be a syndicated cartoon. We're not really going to get into this element of it, but because syndicated cartoons, the syndicated animated market completely crashed. Like there were way more than people had space for. It just didn't. They retooled it and became a 13 episode show instead. What is interesting about this is they had to, well, I don't know, interesting, but it is what this show was. So instead of, I would have loved your merch at the growth. Thanks, but that'll forget. So instead of just being like Mr. Miyagi showing Daniel-san karate and stuff, they have this fancy kind of ornament thing of like a building in Japan or something, and someone stole it, and it can just give you like powers. What powers? Depends on the episode. I actually did watch another one, but I mainly watched the first one. Now the first episode is called Brother Keeper. They go into this weird this place in South America. They went to a different country each time to get this weird powerful thing that they lost, and is now going from villain to villain. It's with these people, this like tribe in South America, I think Brazil or something. And one of the voices is by James Avery. It has people turning to animals. You'd think I would like that. Oh, also they have a girl who also comes along called Taki, who is not, I thought it was like the girl from Karate Kid 2, because it's been a while since I've seen Karate, but I remember there was a girl in it, and it's not her. And she never shows up in anything else. This is actually not canon. The only way that this is shown to be canon is they mention the little talisman thing is shown as an Easter egg reference in Cobra Kai. That's the only reference to my understanding. Basically, they try to sip this thing. This first episode, I'm going to be honest, like really stinks. And the thumbnails I could find of other episodes that are on YouTube and stuff looked way cooler. So I actually did watch the second episode. It involved like kids in Hong Kong getting special powers. That was like a lot better. I was like, why did you air that first episode at all? It stunk. Even though you had James Avery like right when Ninja Turtles and he's the Shredder and like all that stuff, like it was still not good. Um, oh man. Okay, I'm glad we're ending the show soon. The voice, none of the original voice actors, none of the original actors, but they did use their voices. So are they voice actors? Got came back, but they did get the voice of Wheeler to do to be Daniel, and then from Captain Planet, the Wheeler from Captain Planet. Pat Morita did live action intros for NBC, but I've noticed like on YouTube and the ones I sent, they don't have the Pat Morita intros. I remember Pat Morita intros, but I don't. You couldn't find them, so everyone says he made them for NBC. So I'm wondering, does NBC own them or something? Is that why? I don't know. Anyway, yes, this is very close to Jackie Chan Adventures, and because of the Karate Kid connection, I thought maybe I should do a Jackie Chan Adventures episode 1. I remember that show kind of fondly, but it's been a while. However, I mainly like the premise is real dumb. It's very that show at the time. I think Secret Galaxy or Toy Galaxy. It's the voice of Gion. Okay. Is wait, what was I talking about? Anyway, Secret Galaxy or Toy Galaxy mentioned like this whole like talisman thing was just to be competitive in the market. Like, why couldn't you just made a good show or something? I don't understand. It's very kind of weird. Like sometimes it'll be kind of interesting, and then other times it'll completely fall off. The theme song has this very 80s, like very well animated theme, and like all this cool stuff. And then one of the parts is just like them in a car watching a train, which is not like I've done that too. Like I think most people have been driving a car and a train goes by, and you're like, cool, a train. And although that's cool when you're in a car, like why did that make the theme song? Like after I watched it twice, I was like, why would that be in the like him like doing karate next to the waves? I get that, it's Karate Kid, but like he's in a car and a train drives by. Like what did like my son who's 3 would be into that? But like maybe maybe they knew the train kids would be into it. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I was just mystified by this one shot. I'm like, so you really put that in there? Anyway, I don't think it's really that good. It is kind of like real bargain basement slop of 80s property cartoons at the time. So I guess the real question is, was I justified in skipping karate classes to watch the Karate Kid cartoon show? I wrote down episode 1, it's late. Episode 1, I wrote down Jim's mom was right. And I think she was. I should have just gone to karate class instead of watching episode 1. However, episode 2, and what I could find of the other episodes, I'm a little more like, the show gets better when it gets weirder, and it has like, I think there's a whale involved in one point, and there's like magic ninja kids. Come on, you can't go wrong with that. So I'm going to say, generally, I should have not been so scared of stuff as a kid. That I don't think anything was going to happen to me. I was just nervous. But also, I probably should not have said I would do karate class. It was probably stupid. So, really, it's all on me. And I feel bad for my mom for spending money on her karate class that I really didn't put any effort in whatsoever. So I could just sit down on my butt and watch TV like I pretty much always do for most of my existence. So, was I justified in just watching the show instead of actually doing a real life skill? Probably not. This is not a good show. I'm sorry. Like, nobody likes the show. It's like the Karate Kid franchise is an interesting, odd IP thing. This seems to be like most people agree the least notable part of it. But I can't justify it. I should have taken karate class. So if you're sitting watching this, you're like, should I take karate class or should I watch the Karate Kid cartoon show? Sign up for that class. Do that. And then watch Karate Kid after. Learn some time management. Why didn't I just tape it? And I knew how to do that then, too. I could have just taped it. But then I'd be monopolizing the TV on Saturday morning. You idiot. Never mind. Karate class is dumb. I should have just watched. I should have just... Anyway, whatever. I definitely wasted my parents' money on something stupid. Not the first time, but or the last time. But, yeah, I don't think Karate Kid cartoon show is good enough to miss basically anything. It should basically be, there's nothing else on it. I guess I'm watching this. You should not avoid any sort of activity to watch this show. Yeah, no, I think most people, I remember liking that show, but that's one of those shows where, like, I would just watch it randomly, and, supposedly this show, they believe, I've seen, like, I've read too much on this show, and a lot of people believe that this takes place after Karate Kid 2, but before 3. I don't remember liking 2, and I don't think I've seen 3. I was thinking maybe I should just see 3 to complete the original trilogy. Anyway, sorry. I hope that wasn't too funny, or I don't know. I was just like, I'm going to talk about this karate class. Oh my god. All right. Where is... I'm sure my mom does not remember. Maybe I'll ask her, and she'll be like, why were you talking about that? All right, we have okay, Mazel Torres says, wait, already? What again happened this week? What again happened this week? From Mazel Torres in the questions. Already questions below. I'm sorry if this is a little close to the last one. This was just because I was sick and I wanted to still get a stream in that week. It did sort of like make this a weird show because of it. So I apologize for if this, you guys felt it. It seems like everyone's here and it wasn't too much, but I apologize for I actually was thinking I should make sure I have things. I don't want you guys to feel like, oh god, there's so many of these. I don't want to watch this. And I don't want to overwhelm you or make you feel like it's homework or something. You know, just skip a few and come back to them or something. You just put them in that watch later and like, you know, or if you don't want to watch it, it's cool. But like, yeah, sorry if this is too much, but there won't be another one for a week. Not I think it was 5 days ago or something. This was Saturday. Anyway. All right. Nathaniel Focus says, you think at this point Tom Cruise has a personal vendetta against Stitch? I think Tom Cruise is probably cool about it. Is probably cool about it, but maybe he hates Stitch. I wouldn't mind if him and Stitch made it. Now my new thing after I watched the last one was I think Tom Cruise and Jackie Chan should be in a movie together. That's my new thing. Okay, Sid Ram says, there will be a new Harry Potter adaptation, new cast to be released 5 years after the debut of the first film with the previous cast, plus only 15 years after the release of the final movie, and a mere 5 years after the release of the original cast reunion special, which makes me wonder, what can we expect in 2051? Probably new movies. I always thought Daniel Radcliffe used to say he would do Dumbledore. He would like to come back as Dumbledore when they eventually remade him. And I feel like they probably will. I think, I'm surprised, I always thought they would do The Cursed Child, and that would be their Force Awakens once the actors got to that age. But I don't think that would happen now. So, I don't know. I think they might have to just give it a breather. Like, if this bombs, or isn't as big as it was, because I don't know if it necessarily will do as well. So, but I do think we might get a cinematic remake by then, or if not sooner. Austin, hey Jim, what a great show. I might be there or likely asleep. Austin, are you awake? Let me know. Still got a little bit of lingering sickness. Hopefully it will go away soon. I know how that is. My question, which is last, I'm guessing a good corn is my question, which is last, and I'm guessing a good cornbread question is next. My question is, hear me out. My Mamma Mia 3 pitch. Okay, it's Mamma Mia. Here we go again. Now it turns out the Greek islands they live on hold the key to time travel. So Amanda Seyfried's daughter, Sabrina Carpenter, is going to get married. She said she missed her mom, Meryl Streep. So Cher, her grandma, that is canon, takes her to the time travel pool, but she goes back too far and her mom is still played by Lily James, so she helps her in her own birth. Then her and Lily James do meet Meryl Streep Force Ghost, and they all go back to the present and they fight off aliens who are attacking Sabrina Carpenter's wedding, who only can be defeated by the power of Abba. And it turns out Dave Bautista is Stellan Skarsgård's long lost son, and they have a musical number. What do you think? I'm sorry that there will never be a Mamma Mia 3 as good as that, Austin. That was amazing. That was amazing. I love that. I love that. I hope they do. I hope they do make that. Please pitch that to the producers of Mamma Mia, or the people who run the brand that is Mamma Mia. I guess that's what they are. Sorry, I should not do that. That's gross. All right. Cornbread says, "Hey Jim, great job answering Austin's questions. Anyways, during us watching Jack and Jill, you accused me of being Tom Cruise. Is that theory debunked, or did the phone call expand the lore?" It expanded the lore a bit. I do like this no one knows who Cornbread is thing a bit. I think it's kind of funny. You're either Tom Cruise or I don't know, an obscure actor or something. But you could be Tom Cruise. It's not fully gone, but I sort of think you aren't, because you were chatting a lot. But Tom Cruise would be smart enough to have someone chat for him. So I don't know. The fact that you brought it up makes me think you're Tom Cruise trying to get me off the scent, really. Zane Power says, "Remember back when people said Civil War is the height of superhero fatigue and didn't have much time left? With how well that panned out, how much longer do you think the MCU can last?" I actually don't think the MCU is as... Because it has 2 Avengers movies, it has a Spider-Man movie after Fantastic Four, and it has X-Men coming up. I think they'll have a bunch of good years, and if they can launch X-Men again, I think they'll be good. But I think that'll get us toward the end of the decade. I think by mid-2030s, unless all their franchises are hitting, I do think we're going to have a steeper decline after that. But I think the problem with comic book movies long-term is, like I've said this before, with comic books, every month a Batman and a Spider-Man and a Superman, all the big titles come out. But you can't have one of those, all the time. So I think, like, if you're going to be smart about it, you'd have, Spider-Man 1 year, X-Men 1 year, whatever they're doing with Shang-Chi. Like, have a tent pole, like the big one, every year, and you'd switch off from them, But they don't do that. So I think they need to organize their stuff better. And I think Avengers moving was part of that, because the release for, I think part of it was Thunderbolts, but we'll see. Mandela Butterfly, some people like the next Karate Kid, and disappointed Hilary Swank wasn't in Kumla Kai. Did they? I think she showed up at the end or something. I didn't watch it though. Nathaniel Foga, best cartoon based on a movie. That is a good question. Maybe Men in Black or Godzilla. I think those would be up. Men in Black is pretty good. I think that's better than any of the Men in Black sequels, to be honest with you. Al Vasquez, they announced Marvel vs. Capcom 2 action figures today. Is there any of them you would want? I'd have to look at them, but maybe some of them. I didn't play that as much as everyone else, so. Carter Wright, thoughts on the Yu Yu Hakusho 90s anime? I've only seen a few. It seems fine. I don't have real strong opinions because I didn't watch that much, so sorry, Carter Wright. Zane Powers, when it comes to casual fans of Harry Potter or anyone who finds themselves liking it, how harsh are you towards them? Presumably not immediately laying them homophobes level. I'm not, because I used to be a lot more into it, and I'm more apologetic. But I'm also like, a lot of those people are still watching the DVDs, are not making money for her. So I do think people should consider that. But I think some of those people are just too attached to it, but they don't like her and stuff. But I haven't met anyone who's like, no, she's impeachable at this point. So, but I would not label them anything. It would just be like, okay. And sometimes I ask like, oh, how do you feel about that? But a lot of them like are definitely aware of it. So I don't know. Nathaniel Fogo, planning to watch Karate Kid Legends? No. I was planning to rewatch the original and maybe a sequel, but I'm not gonna review it. I did the first one a long time ago. If I had like a lot more time to see movies and stuff, maybe I would, but I don't think I'm gonna do that one. I don't know. I haven't heard the best things, so. But thank you for asking me, Nathaniel Fogo. Zane Powers, if you were to be haunted by a ghost, what do you think the cause would be? Probably murder. Nathaniel Fogo, what movie did you wish had an animated series? Good question. I'm assuming 80s, so I'd say Willow. I recently heard about the Star Wars, the show that Kenner wanted to make after the trilogy, and that I would think would the Last Starfighter, Real Steel, possibly. Time Cop. I'm gonna leave it at that. But those are a few I can think of. The Westinator. I work for my family's meat company, and we make stew that gets sold in local grocery stores. Does that mean my YouTube channel is due for the start? Well, unless it says the Westinator's stew, I think you're okay. Yeah, I think you're. Unless it is your YouTube logo and says, and it's like you giving a thumbs up and like, I love this stew. But if you're helping your family, I think you're fine. Don't worry. Does it? If it has you going like this in it, then maybe be careful, man. Be careful. But I think you're okay other than that. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. You know, hey, Jessica Alba doesn't go down for the honest stuff, so I think it's okay. Okay, where are we? Okay, every other nerd I know are all night people who wake up at noon and go to sleep at 4 a.m. But I'm a morning person. Have you ever met a nerd who was also a morning person? I mean, I'm a nerd and I have to be a morning person because of my kids, so I guess that would be me. I've met other people like that. Cornbread, can we expect you to speculate more about fucking bath water soap manufacturing next week? Should we boycott you if you don't do that? No, I don't know if I'll talk about it again. You don't want to boycott me. I don't think anyone came for that. But sorry. That just popped in my head to riff about it. Sinram says, what's the worst place for an ad break during PTA's The Master? I think both Peacock and Prime found it. Man, I'm not in love with the ads on streaming. I think probably I think towards the beginning when you're really getting into the moves of the character, that would really be disruptive. Or like right when he's finding out about the religion, during a monologue that Philip Seymour Hoffman's giving. It's been a bit since I watched it. I have watched it a few times though, but yeah, any of the big Philip Seymour Hoffman performances, if it had been right in the middle, that would piss me off. I'm sorry you had to watch it that way, Cineram. Black's the Oxenwinkle. With Switch 2 coming out next week, what's your most hyped up release you remember? Could be anything. From the Switch 2, I don't know what's coming out at all. Maybe the Mario Kart? I'm not getting one, so I don't know. Black's the Oxenwinkle, what's your pitch for Stuber 2? I mean, obviously it would be Kevin James in it. So I never saw Stuber, but Medela Butterfly, are you going to go to Epic Universe? Probably not. Probably not. I don't really go to theme parks. Empires, do you think this arcane and cosmic horrors described by H.P. Lovecraft be so terrifying that we lose your mind just by looking at it? Probably not. I mean, that's very like, what was the Carpenter movie, Minds of Madness? Well, that was about Stephen King mostly. Although people are like, oh, it's about... Well, I guess it's if Stephen King wrote like Lovecraft. Cornbread, when will you finally respect the Mamma Mia 3 followers, the lifeblood of your channel? Okay, if there's another Mamma Mia 3 news, I'll talk about it. I'm sorry, Mamma Mia fans. I'll review the original when 3 comes out. Zane Powers, how come Tom Cruise has your phone number, but me, co-star in Tom Cruise's space movies, doesn't? I don't know, Zane Powers. Tom Cruise works in mysterious ways. I forgot about that. I should have done that as a throwback, the Tom Cruise. Maybe I will. But Marcel the Shell. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should. What's your favorite obscure drink? Black Sea Oxenwinkle. Probably obscure drink. Oh, maybe 50 cents vitamin water. I used to really like that. Would you buy Tom Cruise's bathwater, St. Powers? No. I'm not buying anybody's bathwater. Cornbread, earlier in the show you talked briefly about the Spider-Man 4 villain rumors, but I don't think you talked about the Hulk being in the rumors as well. Did you not see it, or did I miss that? I talked about him being in it like a couple weeks ago or a month ago, and I've heard those rumors again. I think it would be a cool idea, but I'm curious what the point of him being in it. But apparently, originally it was going to be Hulk and another, I think, Daredevil or something. So I didn't... I did see it. I probably should have added it. Sorry I didn't talk, but I would have said it. We've talked about that before, and we'll see if it happens. So, Pai Zikai said, do normal people watch movies in theaters? I don't think I've seen a movie in theaters since Barbie. I think normal people are there since when I go. Favorite, where are we? Thoughts on Gravity. If you mean the, Gravity, the thing that we all are under, I would say It's Always Bringing Me Down. If it's the movie, I liked it. I did a review of it in 2013. Carter Wright, favorite PS2 game? Vice City, baby. Vice City. Or the Spider-Man game. Or probably Vice City, if I'm being honest. Ratboy Mickey, what were you going to do for Monster Trucks 10th anniversary 2027? Ask me then. I'll probably do a throwback at least. Zane Powers, what do you think the life of someone who plays 100+ hour visual novels is like? Probably sad. Zane Powers, given the art you use for the rake, what is your favorite alternate color for tongues in cartoons? Maybe green. My last question before I go to bed. I saw Doug Walker review Emperor's New Groove. Isn't he supposed to review bad movies? I don't know what Doug Walker's saying. Oh, is that the last? Oh, Zane Powers, what is a normal person? I guess that's the last one. Fuck if I know. All right, I want to thank everyone. This was a legitimately very good show. You guys surprised me as usual. You're always such a great audience. I want to thank you very much for that. Let me thank everyone who did a super chat. Bloxy Oxenwinkle, Taco Master, Austin, Taco Master again. We're going to go down. William Elman, Ramiku Haraku Shrine, Zane Powers, Ratboy Mickey, William Elman, Sinram, Zane Powers, Taco Master, Austin, Kevin R., Zane Powers, and right at the end, Medela Butterfly with the $1 super chat. I always love these. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. Sorry, cheers to you, Medela Butterfly. Sorry, when the names are close, my brain don't worky. Sorry, cheers to you, Medela. Extra cheers to Medela Butterfly. Sorry about that. Good night, everybody. Clearly, I need to go. But thank you very much. I think there'll be stuff tomorrow and all that stuff. Thank you for all your support. Thank you all for being so cool. I think I'll see you next week. And have a good summer. Go see a cool movie. How about this? We all go see a cool movie and watch a cool show. And then you all go to bed. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate everyone who did Super Chats. I appreciate everything. Thank you very much. Subscribe if you would like to. And I will see you all next time. Peace.